6:15, I'm going to call this meeting to order. Welcome everyone again. Once again, we're being recorded using our technology and the meeting will be posted on the city's YouTube channel. A roll call again, please. Marion?
Marion Wainwright.
Nick Wolf. Ken Mosinger. Tom Ernie. Mike here.
Thank you. Next, I need approval of the consent agenda, which we just need to approve the meeting agenda itself. Motion, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Number 5 on the agenda is to set a public hearing date of April 9th to approve the fiscal 25-year budget itself. And this is just to set the public hearing date of April 9th. So I need a motion to adopt this resolution.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, please. Tom?
Aye. Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
I'll just put a note, we don't need to discuss them, but in the packet is an updated Fairfax budget spreadsheet and the completed state forms, which balance to each other. So they will be in your next packet also, but I thought I'd put them out there to give you more time to review them. Sorry.
Thank you. Item number 6 is a discussion of the insurance. We had to organize an insurance committee in order to recommend coverages for the city because we were operating in a short time frame due to our current carrier not continuing that type of coverage. And we have with us today Charlie Garwood, who's going to give us an explanation. You want to step up to the podium, Charlie, and hopefully it's turned on.
Well, I told him we would kind of go through the committee's recommendation
Okay.
first, and he would just be on hand for questions.
I don't think he's ready for the
Yeah,
questions.
he's ready for questions.
Okay,
Did you want me to go through it, or do you want?
sure.
Okay.
Go.
So we met with Charlie and, the committee's recommending to go with Provident over EMC. For some of these factors, the quote is lower. The building coverage is more, has more exposure with EMC. Provident has a fire pack. Provident allows a higher umbrella coverage, and Provident has fireworks coverage included. Charlie talked about law enforcement liability that we could add if we wanted, talked about abuse molestation coverage is currently in the Provident quote. It is an additional $2,700. It can be left or removed, but it is in the quote already. Railroad coverage can be added as needed for a specific project, that's how we do it now. The AD&D policy we have for the fire department is a completely separate policy, will remain in place and is not included in this quote. And workers' compensation coverage will be exactly the same company, Bitco. Both quotes, EMC and Bitco, were exactly the same. They use the state experience numbers and what kind of work they're doing. So that's why those quotes were exactly the same. But there is always a workers' comp adjustment after the workers' comp year ends March 31st. So they do, along with our policy, so they always do an audit. And I've already gotten an email that he's getting ready to get my numbers. So the machine breakdown coverage is included in both quotes. You'll see on the back of his summary page that we asked him to tell us how would the quote change if we went from a 5,000 deductible on the building to 10,000 or even to 25,000. We asked him to increase all, what would the change in premium be if we changed all the auto deductibles to 2,000? And he has given us, on the Provident, if you change the auto deductibles all to 2,000, that would subtract 1,751. If you change the building deductible to 10,000, that would subtract 4,351. If you change it to 25,000, it would subtract 7,943. If you added limited law enforcement coverage, that would add 1582, but Charlie did read our contract with Lynn County. And there is a clause where they will hold us harmless because they're working on our behalf. And then he also found out that if we would change the deductible for sewer backups to 10,000, for $426, we could have $100,000 of coverage for those problems. They were kind of leery of covering those, because of our past history of claims. Questions? Go to Charlie, not me.
Did we talk about the sewer backup, how much over the years we have as far as, I don't remember.
He mentioned that, so if we didn't add this,
On the sewer backup, the original quote was for $50,000 with the coverage.
okay,
They offered it to go to $100,000. We had 4 claims with water sewer backup. The underwriter was just a little bit leery of this because of the frequency. The two of the situations were not the city's fault. The other two potentially were. This can go away if we do not have any water sewer claim backups in the next year or so. They'll take that away to be unlimited.
So there was 4 last
Yeah.
cycle.
Yeah.
And what did that add up to? We don't have.
Off the top of my head, I cannot. But it was somewhere around 40,000, I think. Don't hold me to that.
but they didn't pay on 2 of them, right?
2 of them they denied
Okay.
because it was not the city's fault. One of them was one of the residents that actually did it that caused the problem.
So based on that, does it make sense to go up higher to a $10,000?
To $100,000 in coverage for the $10,000 deductible.
It does make sense.
I mean, in the event you have a major water sewer backup, which it affects multiple homes, then yes, it would, for $400, I would suggest we do it. But instead of having 50,000 in coverage, $5,000 deductible, 100,000 in the tens makes a little more sense.
And if I did my math right, if I take the 156,482 minus the 1751, minus the 4351, if you go with the 10,000 for, building deductible, and adding the 426, I'm at 158,06, I believe.
So council needs to provide, feedback on deductible. And whether you want to go with the higher limit on the sewer backup.
I would say from being in that committee, what we talked about, I think Provident is better fit for Fairfax, for a number of reasons. With the large one being, they cover firework sponsorship and detonation amongst other ones. I like the $2,000 deductible, the 10,000 property. I don't think we need the limited law, your research there, Charlie. I'm just not sure that. If you think it's wide for us to do the 100,000 for 426, if I think that's reasonable. We had 40-50,000 last time.
I know Lynn and Brian are making steps to correct what has happened in the past. They have addressed what has been going on, and they're working to correct all of it.
And so, if we don't have claims, the 426 will disappear and the 100,000 will become our liability limits, right?
Correct.
Oh, you're not billed for the 426 if you don't use it?
No.
No, you are.
No,
For
They
this
take it
first
away,
year,
and you won't be.
But it's next year, if we don't have any claims for a
The next
while.
year, they'll wait.
Yeah.
Yep, then it goes to the $1 million limit.
And one of the things that Lynn had mentioned was, doing more extensive, camera shoots of the line, so for preventive measures, see if we can locate any potential problems.
Well, and remember you have 190,000 in the upcoming budget for sewer lining. That was one of the projects.
So it sounds like Tom made a motion that we moved down to number 7. Is that a motion?
Yeah, I don't know what everybody else's thoughts are. I mean,
You recommended the 2,000 and 10,000 respectively.
yep,
Why do you say that? Like based on the claims history?
I don't remember who had said it, which. If it gets up to 25 for property, it's hard to work it into the budget, right? Who had said that?
Brian did,
Brian did, yes, that's
For
right. On the-
water and sewer.
To come up with the
To come
25,
up with
that's
it, yes,
just
would be
on
difficult.
no notice.
Otherwise, 10 would still be tough, I think Brian said. But it would be easy to absorb it within that department,
And the $10,000 is a per occurrence
right?
deductible, where EMC had the $10,000 per occurrence. Unless the building was valued at over $1 million, then it was 1% for that building. So the event of a windstorm with Providence, you pay $10,000 deductible, that's it for all the damage. EMC, then you pay $10,000, and the building that's insured, well, this building insured for $3 million, would have a $30,000 additional deductible. So if all the buildings in the city of Fairfax were damaged, and these deductibles apply to the higher value buildings, you'd have a $167,000 deductible versus 10.
So the committee had recommended Providence coverage, but we didn't have the other deductible information available at the time the committee met. So that's the additional item that would need to be.
So no on the lot, so yes on the sewer. The higher level there, and then the 10,000 there. No on the law enforcement, because we're a health farmhouse there, and what was the auto,
To go to the 2,000. So currently, the fire department vehicles are at 2,000 in the quote deductible, but the other vehicles are at $1,000 deductibles. So this would be changing all vehicles to $2,000 deductible.
Did you guys look at how often we use that? How often we have claims against that?
Yeah, what did Lynn say? Lynn made a comment about that. I remember what he said that.
Well,
they
it,
had some.
usually if something happens, it's very minor and they can kind of fix it themselves and don't even worry about it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been at least one fire department, if not 2 fire department claims.
But they were already at.
They're already at 2.
Yeah, they're already at 2.
Last year or?
No.
No.
This
So this
was,
is carried to 3 years.
Yeah,
yeah, we. The duration. The year of the duration, right?
The one in the parking lot,
Yeah.
right,
So were you suggesting then to go to the 2,000?
2,000.
Okay.
and so we'd be taking the 156,482 minus the 1751, minus the 4351, plus the 426. So
That's his motion.
that was,
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Aye.
All right.
Hi,
Mike? Are you a yes? Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Charlie.
thanks, Charlie. You did a lot of work on.
He has something we need to sign.
Okay. All right, so that's, moving on to the last couple of items, mayor's comment, I have none, all other than hoping everyone can stay for the meet and greet that starts at 6:30. Does the clerk have any comments?
If you will help us rearrange the room quickly right after we're done, whether you're staying or not.
Okay, motion to adjourn, please.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Bye. 6:29.
turn off the recording.
Joe, did you?